Hello, good afternoon, everyone. And for those who are watching us live, please do join us in this conversation, engage with us, ask your questions, or share with us your takeaway. And for those who are first time here in my platform, my name is Marilyn. I'm the CEO and founder of Customized Training Solutions Private Limited, or CTS, and we are Asia's most trusted training and business solutions partner. Registered as an event services company in Singapore, organizing bespoke training, roundtable discussions, and summits to help leaders generate profit, cost savings, and impact towards their business. And today we're going to have this one of our pre-event for the Cyber Resilience Summit, which um, brings together leaders, practitioners, and solutions providers and experts to build resilient organizations ready for the next decade. And today our discussion will be around AI arm race. Uh, are your defenses learning as fast as the attackers? So, as we all know, we're no longer asking whether AI will impact cybersecurity. It already has. And the real question is, who is learning faster? Is it the attackers or the defenders? And today I'll be introducing you with my distinguished panelists. To start with, we have here Ubaid Jaffrey, his experience in cybersecurity with expertise in social engineering, simulation, data breach investigations, and user privacy protection. He has led large security teams across SOC, red teaming, PCI DSS, application security, digital transformation, and governance. His strength includes SOC maturity as SIEM, SOAR, integration, incident response, digital forensic, cyber drills, and infrastructure security, including Active Directory, cloud, and secure network architecture. Sorry. Currently, he's the head of cyber defense and offensive security of Habib Bank Limited. Hi, Jaffrey.
Hi, Marilyn.
Nice to have you today. And of course, we also have Chintan. He has total of 25 plus years of IT experience, patents in network and cybersecurity domain. Responsible for AI ML driven cybersecurity protection against cyber attacks, threat vectors. He is currently the Chief Product and Technology Officer of Nalini Networks. Hi, Chintan.
Hi, Marilyn. Thanks for the wonderful introduction. Hi, everyone.
You're welcome, and I'm glad to have you here. And last but not the least, we have Steven Sim, who's also in Singapore. And he's a seasoned cybersecurity leader with over 28 years of experience across global enterprises and critical infrastructure. He has driven award-winning governance initiatives, including the CSO 50 programs, a recognized thought leader, educator, and certified professional. He has received numerous regional and global cybersecurity awards, and he is an active industry contributor and chair advisory committee of OT ISAC. Hi, Stephen.
Hi, good day, everyone. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure to have you here, and I'm glad we have an opportunity to learn today with so varied experiences as well as different perspectives. I would say based on their different expertise on operations and resilience, infrastructure, governance, and for Chintan, of course, is around technology. So to start with, I would like to ask this question for all of you, just um, to give our audience a context. So, in one sentence, is AI currently giving attackers the advantage? So, who would like to start first?
Yeah, maybe I'll take a stab at that first, Marilyn. um, of course, it was always there. My viewpoint is, of course, with the adoption and maybe the advent of AI, if we may call it, the speed, the variety, and the spread of the attack and the attacker base has increased exponentially. So certainly, it gives them a fillip, if not, outperforming the defenders, but certainly gives them a fillip and an advantage in terms of speed, variety, and keyboard. Yeah.
Thank you, Chintan. And who would like to share his thought on the on the question?
Sure, I would like to add some point here. Yes, attackers are moving way faster from the defenses. The way we are heading offensive security, it leads us to see the attackers. They are moving much faster than the defenders. And what we have observed in this recent dramatic change, that now the criminals are belong to those who are non-technical. The criminals are coming from those categories that they are non-technical. They are actually producing some attacks. They are coming up with certain new ideas. They are asking the AI to give them prompt. They are asking the AI to exploit a vulnerability. They harvest the credential using AI methodologies. They are preparing and developing some malware content. They are preparing the sophisticated phishing emails. And now it's difficult for us to determine that what is actual and what is the fraudulent activity being coming to the banking side. So it's very difficult for the individuals and for the audience, for the customer, to determine what is absolute and what is not. It's very much complex nowadays for the audience to tell them, to aware them to. We For the past couple of years, we communicate and educate people not to click https link, not to open that link, see when the red flags are in the email. Now it's very difficult to determine because the email is very sophisticated. There is no symbol of certain expertise, like you would receive a formal email without having any spelling mistakes. That email would be the https email. The links looks legitimate. When you open that, it actually tells you the interest what you are actually up to. So these are some symptoms what we are actually aware of, and we are looking into it, that how we need to evolve the defense in AI.
Thank you. Thank you, Jaffrey and Stephen. Anything that you'd
Yep.
like to add?
Fully agreed with what has been said. So
Mm-hmm.
OTIZ specializes in cyber intelligence for operational
Mm-hmm.
technology. And vulnerability and threat intelligence have told us that exactly what has been shared earlier, that attackers are really tilting that asymmetry of attacks even further because it lowers the barrier of successful attacks. It not only allows easy weaponization through realistic phishing emails, like what has been shared earlier. It also accelerates zero-day vulnerability discovery. So it makes fuzzing for um, identifying vulnerabilities, newly discovered vulnerabilities, easier. It also allows ease of weaponization. Those ransomware as a service, ransom variants can be created at a higher, much faster alarming speed, as well as more adaptive and at scale campaigns. Whereas if you contrast that from the defender's perspective, defenders are still figuring their way to automate source, for instance, effectively with minimum human in the loop to reduce false positives. So, from a defender's perspective, we are always concerned with hallucination and false alarms, and we need the human in the loop, right? So that adds friction into the way, the ability to respond in automatic fashion. But for attackers, they do not need to worry about that, right? So if they miss it the first time, you try it the second time, try it the third time. They don't have all these concerns of bringing down infrastructure. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And from this conversation and what you've shared, so it's becoming more like critical that they actually like not only understand how to address all of these, like you've mentioned, all of you mentioned, but it's really that we establish that AI is really here and giving the attackers advantage, right? So what are you seeing in real attack patterns that signals AI in changing the game? Um, I mean, earlier you all mentioned like different attacks like phishing, um, and just now, Stephen also mentioned around acceleration of vulnerability and weaponizing, which is like faster than the defenders, right? So, Jaffrey, I wanted to understand from you what are the real attack patterns that signals AI in changing the game, and what should never be automated. Having said that, Stephen just mentioned earlier that human still has to be part of the loop, right?
Yeah, thank you, Madeline. Actually, from the modern investigation and SOC operations, we are seeing five major shifts. The five major shifts are: the first is AI generated phishing that has significantly increased in last couple of years. And
Mm-hmm.
before that, bad grammar, as I informed, and generic messages were there, easy to spot those phishing emails. Now it's very difficult because of the perfect language, context awareness, and uses internal references. Now AI is using our internal references and matches the writing style of an individual. So this is one of the important area. Like the first point is AI generated phishing email. The second is deep fake voice cloning. Now the AI is using the voice clone of the CEO, and it's very common in banking and financial institution to see the clone voice of the senior executives, and they are specifically using this in financial institution, the procurement sections. And massively in the recent news, we have observed that there were numerous institutions who got compromised, who got financially disrupted because of these AI clone voice messages. The third important point is the adaptive malware and payload mutations. The malware there, which is being perpetuated by the attackers, are sophisticatedly obfuscated, and the tools which we have, for example the EDR and XDR, they even are unable to detect certain attacks which are AI generated. So that context actually avoids the sandbox detection and uses AI to test our defenses. So now what we are using is, we are seeing a huge increase in the adaptive malware being propagated to the individual, to the third party vendors and suppliers, and from that they infiltrate in the network. So that's why looking into that context, it's again a very aggressive task for us. The fourth point is the AI powered reckonance. The reckonance is very much aggressive, and now we are using the third party tools to detect the reckonance phase. Now that they are using the cloud exposure. What is the cloud exposure of the institution? How, what are the employee profiling? They go to LinkedIn, they go to Telegram, they go to Instagram, Facebook. They create the profile of an individual, finding the interest, using those AI models, and taking that as a sample and sending them the emails to infiltrate in the network. So the OSINT is actually is one of the key pillar for the threat actors to use using AI, because before that it took a lot of time for the attacker to perpetrate an attack for an organization. They target an individual, they go beyond that, they follow their cars, they follow them, they see their houses. Now using the AI, they see their digital profile, they see their digital castle, and after seeing their digital presence, they targeted them. And once they target them, they target 100 employees, and out of 100, if we take the 5%, out of 100, if 5 employees got compromised using OSINT technique, organization got compromised easily. The fifth and the last exposure, I second my colleagues, is the automated vulnerability exploitation. Now AI model has the capability to read the CVs, to perform the exploitation on the servers. They take the CVs, they build the code by themselves and try to perform exploitation. As soon as exploitation is conducted, they got successful, they create a zero-day exploit. And there are numerous candidates who are actually spending time as a freelancer developing exploiting the organization using custom made script and malwares. And those individuals who are working in the freelancer capacity, you can see that the thread and the trend for last couple of years, various organizations got 0 days attack. They receive 0 days payload, the codes in couple of years. They haven't received in last 1 decade because of that AI functionality.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing us the five major shifts. I hope I managed to summarize it well. Again, AI generated phishing, which is one of the most common, deepfake or voice cloning, which is common to banking, as you've mentioned, adaptive malware, AI powered reckoners, and automated vulnerability exploitation. So, these are some of the changes that are happening, and hopefully, we will be managed to address as well as defenders, right? So, a are AI defenses actually keeping pace? Having said all those shifts that Joffrey just mentioned now, right? Or are we overestimating our readiness? Where is AI already outperforming analysts? And that question is actually addressed to Chintan.
Sure, sure. I would love to answer that, Marlene. So, good question. Of course, my perspective is there is lot of opportunities, scope for all the defenses vendors to keep up and increase the pace. So, are we keeping the pace, defenses? Probably not everyone, and probably not maybe a generic statement. And as we discussed at the start of this session, the speed, the variety, and the scope of the AI-enabled attacks has increased multifold. So, of course, there is a lot of catching up to do, if I may call it, with respect to the pace of defenses. Of course, there are exceptions to this. Cybersecurity threat intelligence and a remediation platform called Authentic AI from iMovix certainly helps prevent the ransomware attacks, helps prevent the data breaches and the phishing attacks, the phishing email attacks, as Mr. Jaffrey also mentioned. So there are exceptions. Of course, there are few vendors who can successfully outpace the degree of attacks. Of course, given our enterprise network spread is increasing, the spread of vulnerability is also increasing. So it's a twofold, you can say, attack pattern, as in the spread of vulnerabilities, you can say, motivates the AI-enabled attackers to increase the spread of attacks as well and the speed as well. So yes, lot of catching up to do from a pace perspective, but exceptions like Authentic AI from iMovix do exist. So yeah, that's my thought, Marlene.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad to hear that not only there are opportunities, but there's also like exceptions, as you've mentioned,
Correct.
uh,
Yeah.
in doing so, right? Which is like at
Yeah.
least the hope that we still have when it
Right.
comes to addressing all these defenses. So thank you so much
Right.
for
Sure.
sharing that, Chintan. And I would
Sure.
like to address my next question to Steven. So from a CISO and board perspective, and as well as you are in a community, several communities, in fact. So where is the biggest blind spot right now, and is there a risk over reliance as well?
Mm, that's a great question. I believe the biggest blind spot right now is really and truly AI governance. Yeah, so while innovation is fast paced, we are trying to embrace AI as much as possible in the enterprise, in the organization. Cybersecurity has to keep up, yet without being seen as a hindrance to innovation. So boards are generally approving or tolerating rapid AI adoption in both business, right, as well as enterprises. While this the model risk, AI model risk, data protection and accountability is still lacking.
Mm-hmm.
So that results in the risk for shadow AI. I'm not saying across all enterprises, but many of the organizations are seeing that rapid speed of advancements while they are trying to play catch up in terms of AI governance. And that really results in the risk for shadow AI and uncontrolled exposure of sensitive data into third party models.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely, I think there is a number of risks with over reliance or over relying on AI itself. The first and most obvious one is assuming that AI generated outputs are inherently correct and unbiased, despite the known risks of data poisoning, adversarial prompts, and opaque decision making. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, the biasness of information that comes from the lack of checks against biasness. And then from a technical perspective, you have the MITRE Atlas or the OAPS, top 10 for LLM, that um, showcases how LLM models can be exploited. So this is why risk needs to be mitigated with number one, explainability, right? You want to understand how the output is generated, it's not hallucinated and explainable. And you want to supplement with RAG, retrieval augmented generation. You want to have data and model protection right from the start um, of ingesting the data, of loading the data into the large language model, the training of the large language model data, as well as adequate model security testing, right? So, secondly, there is the risk that AI security tools, right, are being treated as silver bullets, and human teams are being what we call quietly de-skilled. Yeah, because we rely on automation more and more, and that reduces the organization's ability to respond when models fail, drift, or being attacked. It doesn't mean that you use a model for use AI in the security tools. That means the AI itself is invulnerable, and that can still be attacked as well. So the
Mm-hmm.
inevitability of AI models failing must be taken into consideration for managing cyber incidents affecting AI assets, including those, like I shared, used by cybersecurity teams. And operational and business continuity plans must be taken into account, not just for business operations relying on AI, which oftentimes we focus on that, but also security operations, cybersecurity operations relying on AI as well, right? That cannot be overlooked. Last but not least, the over reliance on AI while providing that cost grain governance structure that blocks AI broadly for fear of risk can
Mm-hmm.
give rise to shadow AI and encourage unsanctioned workarounds. Because we can only protect what we know. If we, for instance, just cut off the access to AI models on the internet by blocking at our CASBs, by blocking at our forward web proxies, that will only uh, deter our users to find other easy workarounds, and which therefore is very important to provide as frictionless as possible an AI governance structure that is fine-grained in that balancing act between innovation and governance. We need to have a way to give our users the oxygen that they need for innovation,
Mm-hmm.
right? While supporting it, while making enabling it, and in a secure manner. Yeah. So that's the last point I want to make. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing. And again, the top three that you are seeing in terms of over reliance to AI is output are inherently correct, which is also like unbiased despite of the risk of data poisoning, and of course the AI security tools that are uh, treated as a suitable bullet. And last but not the least, and most important, I would say the AI governance structure that we are having right now, right? Because not everything is, I would say not everything is in place yet. And of course, as AI attackers and AI like develops, right? So how can we actually keep up with that, right? So the governance, the regulations also has to adapt to whatever is happening in or the situation. So having said that, um, uh, we're into our last portion of the question already, which is what's the future outlook, right? Having said that, at least there's already an awareness of like what are the challenges and what can still be improved. What are the opportunities that we are facing right now, especially in the use of AI in cybersecurity? What will be your future outlook based on your experiences as well, or like Steven, for you, like having a community or having different perspective from different industries as well, from the people that you work with, and of course Chintan here from the probably in the technology insight, being in that space, as well as, of course, Jaffrey, who's really like one of the, I would say, the favorite of attackers, being in the finance industry, right? So what's your future outlook? The AI ready secure organization, to be a like AI ready security organization. And if there's one action leader should take in the next 90 days, this is probably your magic wand, if I may say. Like what in avoiding and failing behind the AI arms race, what should it be? So who would like to start in this question?
Yeah, maybe I'll
What's
take a step at that first, Marlene, if that
okay?
permits. So of course, future is bright, and again, the defenses will, as we discussed, will keep pacing up, and in many cases outperform like authentic AI. So future certainly is bright, and then as you rightly and Mr. Jaffrey also mentioned, and Stephen, that different verticals, different markets, domains like healthcare, finances, banking, insurance, trading will have different challenges as far as the domain is concerned. And as Mr. Jaffrey also mentioned, it doesn't take too much for a wannabe threat actor to trigger a AI generated attack on a particular enterprise. So of course, while the threats increases, let's look at the silver lining. I'm sure solutions like authentic AI and others will outpace the attack spectrum, and they will prevent data breaches, they will prevent ransomware attacks, they will prevent phishing URL, phishing email attacks. And as Mr. Jaffe also mentioned, the advent of phishing email, it has picked up the attack pattern at a quite a large scale. So I'm sure there is a lot of opportunities, and the companies will outpace the attack spectrum, and they will certainly stay ahead. Of course, from an industry perspective, there is a lot of learning also to do, as Mr. Steven also pointed out, from AI-enabled governance and other such tools. So there is a lot of learning to be done, and
Mm-hmm.
but yes, we have to be quick with respect to implementation of ready defenses, which can outperform the attack spectrum. So that has to speed up, I believe, in the coming 90 days. So that I would suggest as a plan that we convert the discussions into actions, and we have rightly enabled solutions like authentic AI, which we can implement in our enterprises to prevent, to not only detect the vulnerabilities and attacks, but also prevent the attacks as well as remediate the attacks. So you talked about the AI adoption. So I'm sure a lot of
Mm-hmm.
enterprises will have opportunities to implement agentic AI enabled remediation solutions, which authentic AI also does. So if to quickly to summarize, quick adoption of AI ML and agentic AI enabled defenses, that's what I would suggest enterprises to plan out and implement in next 90 days. So yeah, my 2 cents on that.
Thank you, Chintan. And before I ask the other two handsome guys, I just want to share a comment. Here's to support Stephen and learn from everyone. Thank you, Eugene, for your comment and for supporting Stephen and rest of us in this conversation. So for the rest, if you have, and while we're still here, please feel free to share your questions or your feedback on our conversation here. Okay, who would like to go next?
I would like to jump in and would like to have some of my thoughts and insight regarding the AI. What we have done so far is we are shifting the reactive approach to proactive. Before that, we respond to the incident. When an event is converted into an alert is converted into an incident. So before that cycle, we need to prevent the incident before execution. And how we can do this? Actually, we need to assess the technology what we currently have, for example, next generation firewall, and we need to examine that which technology currently has an AI feature already and we are not utilizing it. Secondly, the reverse mentoring is one of the key element. We need to learn from the Gen Z that what is AI actually for. Because when I did my master's, I didn't masters in AI, but now the tech from onwards, the students who are learning AI, we need to do the reverse mentoring from them, asking them to develop a model which help us in examining, assessing, disseminating that information and identifying those threat actors who are actually in the network, or they are actually performing the attack against our network. So doing that from reactive to predictive analytic approach is very important in AI section. Importantly, the continuous learning is also important, because the resources what we have are not AI enabled. They are not trained with the AI. They are not technology enabled. And with the various banking, if we see the banking perspective, bank usually discourage using AI in the premises. They disable chat gpt, they disable deepseek, they allow microsoft copilot. So they are actually limiting the functionality of AI in the organization, uh, uh,
Mhm.
which requires to be to revisit and ask employee to utilize AI in a positive manner. So this would give an employee an awareness of AI, that what it can or what it cannot do. Importantly, for the critical aspect, what leader can do in next 90 days is the strategic initiative. And important, there are four important questions what we need to ask from the leader: that where we are using AI, where is AI exposed, and where AI can be abused, and who governs AI usage. When we have these four answers of those four questions, we would be actually in a position to develop the AI model. And importantly, we need to now develop the AI risk register, not the information security risk register. And AI risk register is mandatory requirement, and this would actually upgrades the detection in the next couple of months and years. With that AI enabled technology, we need to, for example, we are actually logging and monitoring the SIEM alerts. We can take that log, the archive log, and provide, develop an AI model and provide those logs which are archived to the model. The model will learn, the model will assess the pattern in couple of years what we gained from that logs. So now the AI would help in us in examining that I have learned a lot from those archival log, and now I have the capability to help L1 and L2 analysts to automate your alerting mechanism. I can now able to stop an attack before a hacker can do, and help your team to perform an active detection of the attack, when we don't need to extend the resources if our EPS is increasing. So this can help us in actually the efficiency, the creating more human enabled efficiency mechanism is very important. So the uh, it's not your topic is the AI arm race. It's not about, I think, the tools. It's more about the learning speed that how we learn, the learning speed of the attackers and the learning speed of the defender, and based on our efficiency, how we can utilize that AI is very important.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Recommendations for the next 90 days. Again, that's all about developing the AI risk register, learning from what we are actually getting from the AI inputs, and making well use of those resources, right? Thank you. Thank you. And Steven?
Yeah, I think Mr. Chintan and Mr. Jeffrey has pretty much shared what needs to be shared. I shall not belabor many of these points. And thanks, Eugene, for supporting this conversation. I think my view of an AI ready organization, I like that term quite a lot, is that the organization will treat AI as a force multiplier, not only
Mm-hmm.
for innovation, but also for cybersecurity. The mindset must be correct right from the start. So it has to be treated not as a hindrance, but as an enabler and even a differentiator, right? Um, it should go as frictionless as possible. And very importantly, for that 90 days, I think you should start off with having that notion and approach of AI by design. And the AI by design must be accompanied by um, both security by design and privacy by design built in tandem in a multi-pronged integrated approach. So the AI risk and governance framework must be established that assumes that both AI-enabled attacks and AI-driven defenses will continually co-evolve. So earlier, uh, some of my panelists have mentioned about the continuous learning. I think that is very important because it has involved agility. So we need to talk about agility in terms of this AI by design and AI governance agility. We talk about crypto agility for quantum. We also need to look um, before that about AI agility as well, the AI security agility. And it all starts off if we look at the usual needs cybersecurity framework. Yes, we must be able to protect and detect, contain, and recover fast. And to do that, first and foremost, we need that governance pillar to be out. And that's where I think that AI governance framework, risk and governance framework. Um, Early on, someone mentioned about the risk register. Risk register. Yes, we need to identify all AI assets before we can protect them. We can only protect what we know. So that is first and foremost. So I think the next 90 days will be to formulate that framework if it's not already done and identify all the AI assets and have that risk assessment done so that you're aware of where you are in terms of that risk posture. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. At least we already have like a lot of tools or strategies that we can make use of from Jaffrey, Chintan, and Steven. So let me just summarize what uh, what he said. So really more on thinking about what to do in the next 90 days, right? Making sure that it will be AI by design. That's what I like most, I would say. And of course, we all know that, it will continue to evolve. So it's all about identification as well as protection. So thank you for sharing that. Let me just put that it didn't went through. Okay. So yeah, and before we end this conversation, I really appreciate all of you. Let me just look into the comment from Harish. Harish, oh, he has actually a question. So, how many employees are trained and informed enough to use any of these AI tools? I I posit that as of now, none of them are. Do you agree in this statement? It's a question, and yet it sounds like a statement, right?
Yes, I do agree with the Harish statement because the employees are not ready and they are not enough to train from the AI perspective. First, as I told you, that we need to take the reverse mentorship from the one who is working on the AI model. We need to hire those resources who can make us learn that how this AI model actually works, what is the GPU required, how this model will help us in solving our complex issues. So based on that learning, the employees would be trained, and we need to replace the employees. We need to make them learn the AI model.
Mhm, mhm. Thank you so much. Anyone else who'd like to share anything from that statement?
Yep, I do agree that it is still a journey. I think we are in pretty much the infancy, and that training also comes with maturity of the program itself. Uh,
Mhm,
we are definitely first and foremost most concerned with shadow AI. So the understanding that data can be leaked, your identities become very important because the moment you hardcode your identities, the AI is taking your identity and using that to assess all your data, right? So the understanding of the risk of using some of these AI model, third-party AI models out there is very important, and that cascade definitely has to be targeting different types of audiences. One, the end user group, and also secondly, the developers who are creating agents, right? And with the agentic AI framework, how the identities can be properly secured, and so on and so forth. So there is, I feel it is still pretty much a catch up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Innovation is what drives business, and they are pushing ahead very fast. In my view, many organizations are still playing catch up in terms of the governance. We don't have the luxury of sandboxes. I think previously we have fintech. We are very careful about it. We say we can play with it in the sandbox, and then before we roll out. But AI race is really pushing the boundaries hard, and definitely we need to put in a lot more focus into capability building, making sure that security DNA is part of what the developers do, that they build products secure by design, and users always have that security mindset when they use this kind of models, understand the risk that implicates them as well as the company as a whole. Yeah, thank you.
Exactly. It has to be incorporated by design as well as incorporated in the security in is part of the culture of the organization, right? So again, like what Harry said, the failure of AI adoption in enterprises because of the preponderance of MS Copilot. That is a formula for failure. Okay, thank you so much for that comment. And again, I would like to share again my appreciation to the three of you for sharing uh, what has been said in this conversation. I really appreciate your insights and sharing your experiences as well as your recommendations. Oh, now we have another question. So before we end, maybe we can just welcome this question. You think we have gone beyond the hype of AI and most are already realizing its benefits, and now is the time to consider applying governance, and how and where to start? Wow,
Yeah,
that's three questions all in one.
yeah.
I
Maybe
mean,
I'd like
you've
a
answered these already, but yeah, please go ahead and maybe share
sure.
your insights on this. Mm.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to answer in brief. Of course, I think we have gone beyond the hype of AI. That's correct. It's a time of action, as I mentioned earlier, and of course, with them, we have to be quick with respect to implementing AI, ML, agentic AI enabled product solutions in our network, like authentic AI. We have to do it very fast, and also applying with respect to governance as well as to what Mr. Harish mentioned and what Mr. Steven and Mr. Jaffrey also added there. So we have to, of course, probably add a lot of AI with respect to infosec awareness as well, as far as our generic employee base is concerned. And then, of course, there will be a lot of empowerment with our IT SOC team, who will be more defending our borders with respect to enterprise perimeter security is concerned. So that's what I would recommend Mr. Albert to start, that we start identifying the ingress egress points with respect to our enterprise network, and we start implementing AI enabled products there, and also empower our employee knowledge base so that we can apply our differences both from a generic employee base perspective as well as, of course, our core SOC protection perspective. So those would be my 2 cents, Mr. Albert and Marlene. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for that. And for the purpose of time, we will just pass through this other comments that we have here. And Harish said that governance has to be first, not as an afterthought. And I'm
Mm.
sure all of us will agree here on that.
Yeah.
And any thoughts about how OpenClaw has changed how organizations view of agentic AI beyond data governance? I guess this is the last question we're answering. um, and governance and shadow AI. And hi to Harish. So, is there any thoughts on the open claw from any of you?
I think
No.
uh, third party risk management, with not just shadow ID, but with shadow AI is even tougher these days, with so many interlinkages and so forth. So having that inventory of what has been done, and you have AI bots talking to AI bots, creating their own forums and talking bad about how some human decisions are made. That's really stretched the imagination quite a fair bit, right? So it has all become, um, I would say, very getting very innovative and very. I mean, looking at what happened during Chinese New Year, right? About the China's show of robots and so forth. That really proves that imagination can become reality very fast, and we really need to keep pace with all this. And third-party risk management with whatever that's happening out there with is definitely something that is challenging, but uh, it's about getting the assets correct. So getting the right tools in place to protect against different threats also demands that we are able to go past the AI washing. Like what was the earlier question, right? I was thinking about the earlier question. There are still products that almost every cybersecurity product will say they have AI built in. How do you then differentiate whether it truly has AI built in? How do you compare the AI of one product against the other? What are your assessment criteria to determine the AI of one product is performing better than the other? I think that is a question that I'll leave it at there. It probably
Mhm.
warrants another panel to discuss that.
Thank you so much. By the way, last 2 weeks ago, we actually had a conversation around third party, which Jeffrey is supposed to to also join, but he was in another third party event. So anyway, if you'd like to look into that, feel free to look at the events or under videos on my profile. And again, I would like to thank our panelists, distinguished panelists today for your insights, for your expertise, and for all the strategies that you've shared with us today. And of course, to our amazing participants who asked us several questions. I really appreciate your comments, your questions, and your feedback as well. And of course, we would like to take this opportunity to invite you in our upcoming summit on the 16th and 17th of April 2026. This will be on the Crown Plaza Manila Galleria and Zoom for those who can make it in person. And of course, these are for C levels who understands that cyber resilience is a leadership mandate, and we've all discussed how leadership is important, in this. In the strategies and all the things that we do moving forward to protect our assets. And of course, CISOs and IT heads who would like to learn practical strategies, tools, and techniques. And of course, for solutions providers who would like to engage qualified decision makers, build trust, and form strategic partnerships in growing Philippine market. So I believe that together we can actually strengthen our cyber resilience. So thank you so much again, Jeffrey, Chintan, and Steven for your participation, contribution, and yeah, looking forward to collaborating with you all again. And again, thank you to our audience, and see you in 2 weeks' time again for the next session. Thank you so much, and bye
Thank
for
you.
now.
Thank you for the
Thank
questions as
you very
well.
much. Bye bye.
Thanks, Melvin. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.